Hello, Mark here. I trust you're well. And in today's Lightroom Classic Quick Tip, I wanted to talk about why I keyword generically images on import. So without any further ado, let's jump across to Lightroom Classic. So here I am in my training catalog. I'm running version 12 of Lightroom Classic. And I have some images that I took on the West Somerset Railway back in 2008. Now, firstly, I use keyword list hierarchical structure, and I break down my keyword lists into small groups of generic keywords that are about the narrative. And the key bit is keyword lists and generic keywords, because I want to find these images today, tomorrow, next week, but also in years ahead. And I also want my clients to find, or prospects to find, these images on the web. So this is why I use small generic keyword lists. So here we are, we have some images here of a steam locomotive. So there it is, it's being turned on the West Somerset Railway on the turntable in Minehead. Now there are several narratives in this image regarding keywords. We have the loco itself, we have the turntable, we have the station, and we also have West Somerset Railway. So we have 4 narratives there. And those narratives in keywords can be used on a multitude of images. And this is how I do it. So I'm going to come to my keyword list, I'm going to press plus, and I'm going to create a title for one of the narratives. And in this case, it's steam engine. Steam engines. I'm going to untick the top box because I do not want a title to be added to an image. So it's not included on an export. So press create. And now I'm going to highlight the steam loco, and I'm now going to say, right, what is the name of the loco, and generic keywords to the loco. Now you can choose whatever you want to do, but when I photograph steam engines and other items, I think of things that are unique to the narrative. So in this case, it's 6024 is the number of the loco, and that is the title. So again, I do not want to include it on the export in this case. So press create, and I've now created a subcategory or a list for steam engine, steam locomotive for 6024. And I will now create generic keywords that relate to the engine alone. So press plus and steam engine. Okay, but I want that to be included on the export, and I want to include it in 6024, which is the list. So I press create, and there we go, steam engine. So what else do I want to put in there? Well, the color green, because it's a green loco. Actually, I want a green steam engine. I'm thinking about what people will search for on the web or something for this picture. So it's a steam locomotive, it's green. It's actually called the King, is the nickname for the engine. There we go. It's actually King Edward I, if I remember rightly. King Edward I. I'm just going to call it King Edward I, as in, because somebody might type the word 1. And that, for this video, is all I'm going to do for that image, okay, for the loco. But now I'm going to create a keyword list for the turntable. So I now want to create a small list that relates to a steam engine turntable only. Okay, so I'm going to go turntable, and I don't want to include it in export, and I want to put it into a particular its own group. So turntable, and what is the unique identifiers for this turntable? Okay, so we have the word turntable. Okay, and I want to include that on the export, and I'm going to put it into my sublist called turntable. Okay, and there could be lots of things. So it's at Minehead, for example. Okay, I'm going to put that in there. It's on the West Somerset Railway. It's being turned. See where I'm going? I could put the colour, I could put lots of things there, but it's relating to the turntable only. Now, we've also got the station, the location of where it is. So we're going to create a list called station. I'm not going to include it in export, and it's a top list. Now, you can devise whatever structure you want, but these are generic structures that I can use these keywords in different ways, and I'll explain that in a minute. So, stations. So I want a title. This is Minehead Station. So I don't want to include it in export, and I want to put it into the Minehead sublist. So let's just minimize these. There we go. So it's Minehead. So this is the list for Minehead. So it's Minehead. And I want to include it in export, and I want to put it in the list called Minehead. So there we go. It's got Minehead. So Minehead Station. And it's on the West Somerset Railway. And you can see it's quite easy. I'm just creating small lists that are relevant to that image. Now, I may already have these keyword small lists, and I'll show you what I do when I have those in a minute. So I've created 3 keyword small lists for the narrative of that image. Now, why do I do that? And the reason is I can use the same keywords on different images that were taken on different days, different weeks, different months, different years. And I've got some more images of the king in a minute, and I'll show you. So I'm going to select these images. So let's come down, and they are, there we go, there's the images of the king on the turntable. So it's at Minehead, Minehead Station, West Somerset Railway, so those keywords all apply to those images. So I just highlight them, drag them over because they're all active. I then come to the king and I select the keywords for the king, drag those across and come across, and those are now all being keyworded. Now, these are on the turntable, so I now select these and bring them onto the images. So these have now all been keyworded, the loco, the location, and what's happening. But if I come down this group of images, I've got some more images here of 6024, the king. But this is at Watch It further along the line. They're not on the turntable, but they are of the king. So I can take the generic keywords, green steam engine, King Edward I, and drag those across and drop them on the images. So I've used the same keywords. Okay, so it's a real powerful way of keywording images. Now, a few months have gone past, a few weeks have gone past, and I want to find some images. What I have is smart collections for keywords. So we're going to go into a collection, smart collections, and I'm just going to call it the king. Okay, oops, can't type. And I go from the drop down, I come to, it already says keywords, but I go to other metadata, keywords, and I type in what I'm looking for. So it contains the king. And press create. And there is all the images in this catalogue, not just on the day, the whole catalogue. And in my main work catalogue, I have over 400,000 images. And when I keyword the images, it automatically puts it in that collection or smart collection. Now here's the powerful part of it. Perhaps I want an image that I've picked, or that I've processed, or that is on sale, or a particular date. From this collection or smart collection, I can turn on my filters. So my metadata, show me the date. So this was taken on the 28th. Okay, I could show me what camera it was taken on, what lens, and I can choose the filter. I can choose, are they picked, for example. So I can filter this collection down within seconds, not scrolling backwards and forwards, within seconds. That is why I keyword generically on import those images. Now there's one little tidbit that I'd like to give you. Why do we use collections rather than folders? Now before I tell you that, I'd like to let you know that on a Monday evening, UK time 7 p.m, I host a live Lightroom and Lightroom Classic with a little bit of Photoshop support group, where each week we go through a theme, a task, and help you with any problems that you've got with Lightroom and Lightroom Classic. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about that, just visit learnlightroom.co.uk, click on the support group button, and it's recorded, you get a copy of it, and so on, etc. So and we look at a theme each week. So let's jump back. Why do we use collections and not folders? Folders are where the images are stored. You can only have an image in one place. More importantly, folders are only available in the library module. Collections are available in every single module that within Lightroom. Collections, standard collections, we can share on the web or with our own devices. With other friends, etc., privately and publicly. We can't with folders. But I think the most important thing is we can have multiple collections of the same images. So we could have a workflow. We could have a collection of images that, perhaps holiday images, let's say, ones that you want to share with your partner or your wife, your husband, or somebody very close to you, but somebody, perhaps images that you might only want to share with your parents. But you can have the same images or not in each and all other collections. You can't do that in folders. And if you wanted to print something, or wanted to make a book with blurb, or you wanted to look in the map module, where were they taken? You can only do that with collections. You can't do it with folders. There are only, in my opinion, and there's no right or wrong answer, 4 things that we should do in the folder structure. Import, delete the folder or image, rename, and move it if we've put it in the wrong place. Those are the only 4 things that we should be doing in my opinion, in the folder structure. Everything else, from workflow, from developing, to culling, to keywording, to digital asset management, to everything, should be in collections. And the last little tip, why we work in collections, is when we press delete in a collection, we're not deleting the image. We are removing it from the collection. And it's a little safety net. I know there's a pop-up that says, do you want to remove or delete this? But it's an extra safety net. We're only removing it from the collection. We use folders to delete images. So I hope today has been of some help for you. Why I keyword on import generic keywords. And there's so much more that I do with metadata after that, but it helps me find images from 20 so years ago when I first started digital, and I also keyword my film images. Check out learnlightroom.co.uk for a lot more free YouTube videos, and hopefully you'll join us on a Monday evening on our support group, live on Zoom, 7 PM UK time, most Mondays. Bye for now. Keep taking photos.